across CPG, people are starting to realize that the ingredients that are put into most consumer products and the packaging is really poor. I know this has happened already in deodorant. Obviously, you've had Native, and in the UK, Wild have done very well. But I think it's going to happen across the board with sunscreen, moisturizers, anything you're putting on your skin, anything that you're breathing in. Fundamentally, people are going to pay attention to what's in the product a lot more than they used to.
This month's sponsor is Triple Whale. Supercharge your ad campaigns with their revolutionary analytics platform, because better data means better campaigns. If you're running any type of paid media, then you need to be using Triple Whale. Find out more at trytriplewhale.com. Hello and welcome back to the D2C Deep Dive. This week we are talking about cleaning, something we all do every day, and we've probably all been using the same brands to clean our house for as long as we can remember. Well, Jack Rubin wants to change that. Purdy and Fig is a CPG cleaning brand which has taken the cleaning world by storm. He's doing some incredible things. He's built his own fulfillment warehouse. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. We're also going to be diving deep, whatever you want to say, into his subscription method and how that has completely changed his business and allowed them to 10x. That's right, 10x their monthly revenue. Incredible story. So let's get started. Jack, welcome to the D2C Deep Dive. It's great to have you. We spoke earlier and you've just launched your brand new website. So things are actively happening at Purdy and Fig. Tell us about it. We're a few hours into the new website launch now. How's it going so far?
When you launch a new website, you always get a bit of a drop in conversion straight away.
Yeah.
Because your existing customers are not used to the new layout and framework. So you'll be surprised about how much of your conversion is just familiarity with what you set up. So I know to expect a bit of a drop initially in conversion rate, especially in the morning when we launch, because that's when a lot of our existing customer sales come in.
Oh wow, really? So you found mornings are the people when people buy cleaning products. Do you know why?
Yeah,
why is that? That seems strange.
Customers, yeah.
Wow. No way.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Yeah. I urge anyone, if you haven't already, go check out Purdy and Fig, their brand new website. Really lovely stuff. And apparently, if you want to buy cleaning products, you buy them in the morning. Who knew? Very strange.
I think it's probably some kind of psychology behind it. But yeah, no. So the website's just been launched. We're really happy with it. We built it all in house, and it's taken about 6 months. And excited to see how it goes.
Jack, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself, a bit about Purdy and Fig, where you are as a business at the moment? I know that you're a family business, so it'll be great to kind of to touch on that and and see how difficult, how easy that is. I'm sure that a lot of us listening have worked with our family members in the past and know that it can be quite difficult sometimes. Let's be honest. So, Jack, tell us about yourself.
I'm just a typical entrepreneur, really. Just started businesses at school, at university, then tried to go into the professional world and just didn't really hang well with me. Worked in venture capital for a while and management consultancy, and just always came back to launching businesses. And I've had 2 failed businesses before Purdy and Fig, so I've had a couple of rodeos. And now running Purdy and Fig with my brother, and we're co-CEOs of the business together. And shall I tell you a bit about Purdy and Fig?
Go for it. Yes, please. Yeah.
Cool. So Purdy and Fig is a natural cleaning brand. We make the best smelling cleaners on the planet, we think. And we launched the brand about 2.5 years ago, initially with a hand sanitizer product during COVID. And then we launched our multi-surface cleaner called Counter Clean in September. And we've been on a great growth journey since then.
Well, let's talk about that. You run the business with your brother. My brother is in the office next to us. He works in the same building as us. I know it can be quite difficult sometimes. Has it been successful? Do you think one of the reasons why it's been successful is because it's been with your brother?
Well, definitely. Number one, I think there's a reason family businesses have historically worked. I think when you have a business partner that you can 100% trust and be very honest and open with, and as brutal as you need to be, it leads to very good outcomes and results. So I 100% think working with someone, either a family member or a close friend who you really trust,
Mm.
is can be very powerful if you get the relationship right. Um, and but it, yeah, obviously comes with its challenges. You got to try and separate work from family. You have to try and like keep that relationship going because we just find we talk about Purdy and Fig like 99% of the time, and like
Yeah.
I'm getting married and like we barely discussed it, for instance. So
Yeah, I mean, I run Fraggle with my longtime best friend. He's my co-founder, and I totally understand where you are. It's very difficult to have a clear separation between like friendship, normal life, and business. You do end up always speaking about one or the other, and it is very difficult. But one thing I found really works with that is that if you have kind of like different skill sets, right? Is that
yeah,
what you two have found? Because for us, I've always been the person which is kind of like business headed, I guess, whereas he's much more creative headed, and so we're not always kind of competing for the limelight, I guess, so to say. Is that what you two have found? Different skill sets means that you can cover all bases, without hiring other people, I guess, constantly.
so yes and no. I mean, 100% agree. You need to separate roles if you're working together as family, and
Hmm.
got that advice from my father-in-law who built a very large business with his brother. And that was the first thing he said, like, have separate roles, have separate accountability. It's the only way you're not going to tear your heads
Hmm.
off each other. When we started, we kind of have overlapping skill sets. We're both like creative, fairly logical as well. Quite a lot of operational experience. I had a bit more marketing experience than he did,
Hmm.
and he had a bit more operations experience than I did. But we kind of had to, we started with wanting to work together, and then we were like, how do we fit the business around that? And we
Hmm.
then separated and just had to become experts in the domains we took over. So I took over the whole marketing and e-com side of the business from the start, and he did the whole supply chain and operation side.
Yeah, it's good to
And
have those separate
that's
roles.
how we separated it.
Yeah, for sure. So in the past 12 months, I'd say there's been a pretty major boom in like the eco cleaning business. I for one know that, we always use refillable stuff at home because pretty much every single cleaning product comes in some kind of big plastic bottle which you end up just throwing after you finish with it, and then you buy another. Why do you think there's such a spotlight on like the eco cleaning space at the moment that you guys have taken full advantage of?
Interestingly, for CPG in general, and kind of talking to any aspiring entrepreneurs or brand owners out there as well, I don't think it's happening in just cleaning. I think across CPG, people are starting to realize that the ingredients that are put into most consumer products and the packaging is really poor
Hmm.
standard and cheap. And I know this has happened already in deodorant. Obviously, you've had Native and in the UK, Wild have done very well. But I think it's going to happen across the board with sunscreen, with moisturizers, anything you're putting on your skin, anything that you're breathing in and using in your home. Fundamentally, people are going to pay attention to what's in the product a lot more than they used to. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that's a really important trend that's happening. And I think in cleaning, especially, the realization that um, the realization is there that the cleaning products that we've been using for the last 50 years, your Domestos and your Cillit Bang, were all made during the industrial, basically after the Industrial Revolution, when petrochemicals were um, proliferating, and that's what they're made of. And you're spraying them in your home, you're breathing them in, and
Hmm.
people instinctively know that that's bad. And then if you look at just data across illness and allergies and all those kind of things, they're all just going up and to the right. The amount of people with an allergy now is one in three people now suffer with some
Wow.
kind of allergy, which is a huge rise on what it used to be, and that's all partly driven. A lot of studies are showing partly driven by the chemicals we're using in products day to day.
You said earlier you make the best smelling cleaning products on the market. What makes a good eco cleaning product?
Well, there's three things that matter to customers with cleaning. So, smell
Yeah.
is one, and it's the number one biggest area of spend of R&D spend for conglomerate cleaning brands. So, P&G and Unilever with their various brands they own, Method Ecover, etc., and others, they spend the most money on smell. So we know that's really important.
Hmm.
Also, smell has associations with being clean, and it also evokes a lot of kind of emotional responses as well. So it's an important part. Then the second thing is efficacy. So do products work? And it's probably one of the biggest problems in cleaning, eco cleaning, is most eco cleaners, people don't feel like they work. So that's the second. And then
Hmm.
the third is environmentally friendly. Um, and we kind of group that in with both the environment in terms of the world and also your own health. So, having natural ingredients and not using petrochemicals and plastics.
For sure, definitely, 100% agree. The smell thing. There's been many products that I've bought myself for the house, and I've spread. I've been like, this doesn't smell clean. I'm not using it. I don't know why
Yeah,
that
massive.
connection is there so much. So you've had a pretty impressive year so far. I read on LinkedIn 10 times your monthly sales, which is, well, I mean, that's pretty impressive, right? There's so much growth there. What do you think is responsible for that growth? Because you've just launched, say just a few months ago, your subscription service. Do those two link together? Do you think that's why you've seen such month-on-month growth?
So the hardest thing, I mean, I came from a tech background, and
Hmm.
in tech, um, what you typically do with a tech company is you launch the product, and then you're looking for what's called product market fit. So you're
Yeah,
looking for an alignment of your what you're creating, the customer need, and the user experience all aligning to create a product that can acquire customers and retain them.
yeah.
And I think a lot of brands try and scale before they've got that product market fit. And so the approach we took was we were going very slowly, trying to figure out the exact messaging, the exact kind of customer offer, the way to position and frame the products, from a merchandising perspective, um, and then also the post-purchase experience in terms of how often do customers want, their second delivery, what's the right communication cadence. We looked at all those things for 3 or 4 months at very low growth rates, and we were just trying
Hmm.
to play with, certain different numbers. And then when we found product market fit, we were able to scale the business incredibly quickly because the foundations were there. So that's the kind of process we've been on. But yeah, as you said, we're now acquiring 8 or 9 thousand new customers a month and 4 or 5
Wow.
thousand subscribers a month, new subscribers a month. So we're in a great place.
Getting stock at the moment is pretty difficult. Do you guys make all the product yourselves, so stocking isn't really a problem? Like, how have you managed to keep both growth aligned and the stock that you have to actually serve to the clients? Because it's pretty difficult.
Really, really hard. Really, really hard, especially at the moment with global shortages of a lot of
Mm.
key ingredients for a lot of CPG brands. And we're experiencing that as well. So we make all of our stock. We built a factory, and we built
Wow.
a fulfillment center. So we buy and produce, manufacture and kit, and then distribute all of our product. Um, which has lots of benefits in terms of control, cash flow, MOQ sizes,
Mm.
those kind of things. But it does obviously mean a bit much more of a heavy lift when scaling. So that's one of the main things that's tempering how fast we can go at this point, is that we're having to extend our factory size, and probably we have to double. We've just doubled the square footage, so that we can look at
Wow.
doubling our output in the next 6 months. So to go from 10,000 new customers a month to 20, it's going to take us longer than probably a traditional brand.
Mm.
But I don't mind, because fundamentally it's not about how fast you go. I think there's a big culture of like scaling fast in direct to consumer, and it's what people get excited about, and like
Yeah.
it's what you kind of opened with as well. And I think that's natural, that's exciting,
Hmm.
but actually going much slower and building better foundations, better margins, better customer experience, that can be a much more effective strategy,
Yeah.
especially when looking at profitability, cash flow, and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So, I've kind of got the view of go slow to go fast.
Yeah, yeah. I think just because you can scale doesn't mean you should scale a lot of the time. Like you might have the liquid cash and you can scale and you can, rack up the budget on the ads, but that doesn't always work too well. And there's plenty of companies out there which have unfortunately failed due to that exact reason, that they scaled before everything else was ready. So let's not skim past the part that you built your own fulfillment center. Like that is like that. Why did you choose to do that instead of just going, purchasing a warehouse, renting a warehouse? Like building a property, it's not an easy feat for anyone, not even, especially when you're still doing another business at the same time. That's insane. What was the thinking behind that?
And our own factory as well. So we built a filling line. So
yeah.
a labeler, capper, filler, and yeah, we've got a team of 6 now full time in the factory and fulfillment center. This is really interesting. So your gross margin is mostly often overlooked in direct to consumer because it's very marketing focused. But what we realized early on is that your contribution margin essentially gives you the opportunity to scale your sales in a much more effective way, because you're basically limited by CAC to LTV if you want to build a solid business.
Yeah.
And the better your contribution margin, the more room you'll have to push your CAC up. And then the further you'll be able to scale. And this is basically a core dynamic of direct to consumer businesses. And it's really hard doing your own manufacturing and fulfillment, but it's way cheaper.
Yeah,
basically,
I bet.
Than outsourcing it, because of course the people you're outsourcing to make margin. So we just made the decision early on that this was something that was going to be beneficial longer term for the brand. And then the second thing is Charlie and I, we're in it for the long term in terms of building CPG brands. And we thought if we had a factory and a fulfillment center, then we can launch whatever brand we want.
Yeah.
And once we've got Purdy and Fig into a place that we're happy with, that gives us the foundation to be able to launch as many brands as we choose to on very low MQs and test lots of ideas. So I think it's a great asset in that sense as well.
This week's edition of the D2C Deep Dive is brought to you by Motion. Are you still using spreadsheets to track your creative ad reporting? Well, if you are, you should try Motion instead. Motion bridges the gap with your creative team through visual and digestive reports so they can make engaging content that actually converts. With one click, you can share insights with your team and add members to your workspace so they can easily deep dive into reports on their own. Motion makes it super easy to identify key drivers for performance and helps eliminate the guesswork in the creative production process. Join the 500 plus teams like Huel, The Ridge, and Foxwell Digital in using Motion to improve their ad results. Say goodbye to creative fatigue and try Motion for yourself with a 14-day free trial at motionapp.com. Let's chat about subscriptions. As you mentioned before, it's been a key reason why you have grown. And it's something I think people don't really talk about. Everyone talks about how great subscriptions are and how, knowing where your income is coming from is brilliant. But no one actually talks about, the nitty gritty of, a subscription model and how difficult it can be sometimes and also how great it can be. So what was the reasoning for a subscription model? Because when I think cleaning, I think popping down to Asda and buying some cleaning products, whatever, using them until they run out, and then I'll go buy somewhere else. It might not even be the same product a lot of the time. I'll just search for something else. So why was it important for you guys to lock people in for that subscription method so they can always be using your product and they get it delivered, before they even think they need it?
Subscription is a really powerful business model. It allows you to... Basically, it always improves your lifetime value. A good subscription model will always improve your lifetime value over 30, 60, 90 days and 12 months, 3 years. And that, again, just gives you more leverage to scale your acquisition, because the more you can make from customers over a normally 90-day window, just from cash flow perspective. 90-day window, the more you can make, the faster you can push acquisition, and the higher your CAC ceiling can be. So subscription's great. It works for specific types of products. So consumable products that you use on a regular cadence that is pretty predictable.
Yeah.
Usually are well set for subscription. And then, as you said, you're used to popping down to the store and buying cleaning products, but you don't really enjoy doing that. It's not something, it doesn't add to your day, and certainly legging at home doesn't add to your day. So by us having these concentrate refills that are really small, that can fit through your letterbox and are very easy to deliver, it just makes a lot of sense for people to not have to think about it and just get these little concentrates delivered, every quarter. It just works, and they use it at a regular cadence. That most people clean the same amount every week or every 2 weeks. So that's kind of like when subscription is viable. I'd say then if it's viable, the second thing you want to do is you don't want to carbon copy your pay-as-you-go strategy, because, and I did a tweet on this, pay-as-you-go and subscription are completely different business models. And most people, what they do is they go, oh, here's our AOV, it's £50. This is how we acquire customers. Let's give people 15% off a subscription option. And that's how we're launching subscriptions. And then they're like, oh, only 5% of people are taking the subscription option. Subscription doesn't work for us. And they kind of leave it at that. The problem is you're ignoring some of the core dynamics of subscription, which is the value is not in the first purchase, it's in the lifetime of the customer. And you need to lean into that in order to make subscription work. So that means lowering your entry price. It means giving people the opportunity to try your product at a low price and come in on a subscription to do that. So that's the trade-up. You go, look, you have to buy a subscription, but you're going to get this for half the price that you would normally, or something like that. And then measuring the 60 and 90-day lifetime value, and adjusting your CAC based on that to make contribution margin over 90 days rather than on first order, which most companies are trying to do. So that's kind of the switch in mindset you've got to have, and then you've got to build a funnel that supports that offer. So normally a great landing page with a great subscription offer with a bit more detail about what you're getting in the subscription box, and some messaging around, change or cancel anytime, the flexibility that people want to see and that kind of thing. Usually, if you do those things, your subscription strategy is going to work much better.
I think that's what people look for in a subscription method, right? They think, well, from a consumer point of view, I'm going to give you money monthly, right? So I want that to be cheaper than if I, paid whenever I want, and I want some kind of incentive in order to do that. So it just kind of makes sense, but I think a lot of people forget that that's what consumers want. And like they just slap like a 15% off code and go, yeah, there you go. It makes perfect sense. Yeah. So what are you using on kind of the back end, from the tech stack kind of stuff all the way to actually making sure that you can fulfill this stuff in terms of a subscription? Has it changed? Did it change the way that you work compared to, people just buying willy-nilly?
It's more predictable, like in terms of inventory planning and supply chain stuff. It's predictable because you can see the subscription orders that are going to be coming for the next week and the week after that, etc. And that's pretty cool. From a tech perspective, we just use, we've been on Recharge, but we just moved to Skio, which is a new platform that we really like the look of, because so we had like 50 customer service tickets a day when we were acquiring, in the last few months, because customers can't get into their subscription account. And the reason they can't get into their account is because when you buy a subscription, you get an email saying create your account to manage your subscription, but most customers don't do it. And then they try and log in with the email they used to purchase, but they've got no account. And this is a real issue. The only way to solve it is by adding a create your account step before purchase. And as we all know, that is going to lead to a drop in
Mm,
conversion because that point of friction is not going to be good.
mm.
So we moved to this platform called Skio, which gives you passwordless login. So you don't have to, it creates an account for the customer automatically. And then all they need
Wow.
is their email and they get sent a code to their email and they get logged in.
That's
Um,
so handy.
yeah, which is super cool.
Yeah, because there's been so many times where I've been in that exact scenario. I've paid for something. I haven't, I've probably just deleted the email when it came in asking me, to sign up. And so I end up in a position where I can't cancel my subscription because I never signed up for an account. So that's,
Oh, nightmare.
yeah, absolute nightmare.
Yeah, you've got to give customers that flexibility and choice. It's really important.
Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned earlier, a lot of this growth has been thanks to, kind of a great marketing plan. Where have you been in terms of your marketing? What channels are working for you best? Is it Facebook? I know that you tweeted this morning saying your first video hit 1 million views on TikTok. Like, what's been the main growth channel for you? Facebook, TikTok, email?
It's been Facebook for sure.
Mm,
We got to a point where we were spending like 10, 15, 20, I think 20,000 a month on TikTok,
yeah.
but we then turned it off as a test, turned the whole thing off as a
Hmm.
test, and our CPA fell by like a good 30%.
Wow.
Yeah. So even though the in-platform CPAs are similar to Facebook, that told us that yeah, TikTok wasn't contributing as efficiently. So at the moment, we're still just until we can get confidence on that. Facebook is our like main channel by far.
Hmm.
So we scaled spend on that. We and we use quite a specific approach. We use cost caps on Facebook. We find them most effective,
Hmm.
and we like aggressively test content. So I'm talking 300 or 400 bits of content a month at least.
Wow.
Sometimes more. Sometimes up to 700 pieces of content in a single month we're putting
How are
through Facebook.
you how are you managing that from, like, we create content here, that's a whole lot of content.
It's a
Like,
lot.
where are you getting that content from? How are you managing that on, like, an actual testing basis? Like, that is, the infrastructure there must be insane.
Yeah, we work with a great team who help us with one element of it. So the one way we get the content is through mass influencer seeding.
Hmm.
So we reach out to about 500 influencers a month on TikTok and Instagram and give them product for free.
Whoa.
And around about half of them end up posting stories about our products and reels and TikToks, and about 80% of those we get usage rights for. So normally that ends up being, a good chunk of content for us, like half
Hmm.
of the content, like 200 bits of content maybe. Then we create iterations, like normally two iterations, sometimes three of each video. And then we also create a whole lot of branded content in-house with a video editor and content strategist in-house, probably, 30 to 40 pieces of content a fortnight that are just much more kind of like brand led with traditional value propositions. And then we mash all those together in, using influence content and the branded content
Hmm.
into
Yeah.
mashables. And, it just makes up a whole lot of content that we can put through Facebook.
Wow, that's insane. Have you seen a lot of success reusing TikToks and Reels on
Yeah.
Facebook? Because I've heard some people saying it doesn't work, some people saying it's great. Is that your main strategy in terms of acquisition? Do they lean to the cheapest costs?
Not the main strategy, but it has worked. We've had some winning bits of content from TikTok for sure. But at the end of the day, I think it's all slightly semantical, that isn't it? I mean, a
Yeah.
piece of TikTok content and a reel are not that different. That you're
Hmm.
talking about maybe a slightly different overlay
Yeah.
design, but
Yeah.
broadly, it's just vertical short form content. So
Mm.
um, yeah,
Yeah.
it works. Like I'd expect it to work. I don't think it
Yeah.
works
What?
necessarily way better than traditionally made Facebook content if your Facebook content's good, but it's another
Mhm.
string to your bow to
Yeah.
test.
What's been your view on kind of TikTok organic? Like we said, you just had your first video hit 1 million views. Do you have a lot of sales coming through TikTok organic? Is it something you even like you're really pushing, or is it something that you just do because you have all this content anyway, so you might as well post it organically?
No, we put a lot of time into the TikTok organic. I think I decided like 6 months ago that there was like value, performance marketing value as well as brand value in trying to push TikTok really hard. And we
Mm.
started to put a lot of investment into the organic side. Um, yeah, we've now got like consistently getting videos with 1 million views. We've got one with 1 million, but consistently over 100,000. We've got 7 or 8 videos now with over 500,000 views on the channel. We've got 45,000 followers, and that's all happened in the last probably 12 weeks since it started to work.
Mm.
Um, is it generating sales? I don't actually know, to be honest. I actually
Hmm.
don't know yet. And frankly, at this point, it's not like the core reason why I'm doing it
Yeah,
yet. I think there's just a lot of value in having that owned audience on TikTok,
I
and I
agree.
think
Yeah.
and I think it can just get really big. So we're just gonna keep creating a lot of content for TikTok and working on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I think when you're in a niche like you are, like there's the whole clean talk thing,
Yeah,
I've had them show up on my feed. It's very powerful. Like you said, to have that audience, like, people will your videos are much more likely to come up on people's feed organically. They'll wonder who you are, click through, and just keep you in their mind for when they might be looking for a product like yours. So
yeah,
I don't think it's always about people buying straight away. So much,
no.
so much brand can be built on TikTok. So is that something which you want to carry on onto other platforms? Like, I know that obviously Instagram doing a big push of video at the moment. Are you reusing your content over to Reels? Like you mentioned, there isn't much difference there. Are you hoping to build a similar kind of base of content following over there?
Yeah. I mean, we've been working on Instagram for forever, and
Yeah, everyone
it's
has.
just
Yeah,
it's just slow. I mean, I think we've got
yeah.
27,000 or something, 25, 26,000 followers on Instagram, and that's like taken
Hmm.
18 months of work,
Yeah.
and the reach is limited to like 20,000, maybe 25,000 views on a video if you really kill it at this point for us.
Hmm.
So yeah, definitely going to be putting more work into the TikTok side. I think your Instagram at this point just needs to be respectable, I think, and
Yeah, I agree.
your real growth and your real needle mover is going to come from scaling TikTok. So I'd recommend any brand owners to focus in on TikTok.
Yeah. Do you have an in-house content creator for your TikTok, or are you just reusing the content which all your hundreds of influencer posts are coming in at the moment?
We don't really reuse much of that content on TikTok because a lot of it isn't. Well, first, it's already been posted through their
Yeah.
TikTok accounts, and TikTok. Um, yeah, we haven't found it really works to repost it. Doesn't really lead to scale. Because on TikTok we're taking a very specific approach, so we're leaning into the clean talk thing, and
Yeah.
we're being educational about how to look after your home in ways that are natural and healthy, and that's really working for us. So it has to be specifically made content.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that's the first thing. And finding out what works for your brand is a process you need to go through. And you kind of try lots of different things and you see what sticks and then you double down on that. So in terms of how we make the content, we've just got a freelance video editor, and then we've got a content strategist who is on full time on ads and who also does a bunch of other things because we're a lean startup.
Yeah.
And one of her jobs is coming up with ideas for TikTok videos, organic videos, and we've got an intern who works with our video editor, and she also is good at native TikTok editing, and they just
Mm.
create content. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it's all
Amazing.
about.
Yeah, yeah. I never thought I'd see the day where brands are hiring, essentially just TikTokers at this point in order to create content. It is such a crazy world that we're in now. Like I did not see that coming. As we kind of round up now, like what's next for Purdy and Fig? What's next for yourself? Like, do you want to just keep on growing, a small batch of products, or do you want to end up in the full line of cleaning products from surface to toilet, bathroom? Like, where do you want to go?
Yeah, keep building. We've got a lot of room to scale with our first product, Counter Clean, and then next year we want to launch. We've got two fantastic products that we've developed in house. So we've got a full-time in-house chemist as well, PhD chemist,
Wow.
who we develop our products with. So we've got a thing called Loo Lava, which is a toilet cleaning product.
Love that name. Love that.
Which is an incredible product. And we've got a product called Tub Scrub, although I think we're renaming it to Super Scrub. And that's a more abrasive bathroom cleaner. And just more of a general, it's kind of like a general clean everything oven, bathroom, kind of product. So we've got those two, and keep acquiring new customers, launching products, scaling the business, and do that profitably and in a sensible way.
Yeah, sounds exciting. I need to grab myself some because my fiance is obsessed with cleaning. So I need to, because we're on the pink stuff hype at the moment. Like,
yeah, pink stuff's awesome. So that's what Super Scrub is. It's a pink stuff competitor.
Yeah, we're on the pink stuff hype. Everything is now pink stuff in our house. That's like the only cleaning product we use. But I think I need to try some Purdy and Fig. I think that's what I need to do.
I will. I think once you start, what we found with our customers, once they start using it, they can't use anything else. I think you'll find the same.
I can see that happening. So I'll use the new website and I'll purchase, and I'll tell you what the purchasing experience is like.
Yeah,
and I'll get
and let me know if you haven't seen any bugs. That'd be really cool.
I will do. I'll let you know if the whole thing crashes. Well, thank you so much, Jack. It's been incredible to speak. Like I think you're in a really exciting space at the moment that has a lot of growth, and you have a lot of value that people have heard during this podcast. So thanks so much for your time. If people want to follow you on Twitter, follow your journey, what's the best place to do that?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, relatively active on there. I started tweeting 6 months ago, and that's going quite nicely. So you can follow me at JackRubin1 on Twitter.
Yeah, got the one just because someone stole your name, I imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of something to do with that. That's pretty much it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you for your time.
Pleasure. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Fraser.
And that's it for the D2C Deep Dive this week. Thank you so much for joining. Remember, if you've enjoyed this episode or any of the episodes, then please do make sure you leave us a review because it helps us. It recommends us to the right people. So if you do that, much appreciated. You can follow me on Twitter. It's @SourFraser. I post tips and tricks on how you can make better ad content. And, well, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.